Vodafone presents the pre-match.
The pre-match brought to you by Vodafone. Me and Nata are going to break down the next game. It's going to be Ghost Gaming going up against Renegades, and it's quite an interesting tale to look at, especially with our starting map. The first time we get to see it this week, Train.
Yeah,
for me,
a bit of Train.
Yeah, Train is one of my favorite maps. I don't like the Go version because I still can't go on the trains. I still would like that. Don't know what it would change in the Go situation. Would you like to see that in there?
I mean,
used to be able to ninja stealth and just annoy people, like sit down and go.
yeah, no, it used to be a lot of fun, obviously, but I don't know if it would work in CS:GO.
Yeah, Go mechanics are weird anyway.
Yeah,
technically broken.
Probably. Yeah, probably wouldn't work.
This matchup, right? Ghost, top of the leaderboards at the moment, a new Renegades who actually have not played this map at all with their current lineup.
Yep.
But you've got to look at Ghost and say, generally tactically prepared. They perform better against teams that they can actually kind of delve a little bit deeper into, look back at past matchups. So I expect us to have a really good game, like head-to-head here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the evidence does tell you, especially on a Ghost part, that yes, they do perform better when they have a lot to work on, a lot to chew on in their opposition. So going to be interested to see. And also when it comes to Renegades, I mean, the big picture, when I think of Renegades and Train, I'm going back. In my head, I'm going back to 2015 when Chad was still playing in the team for some reason. And I'm thinking of a lot of gimmicky strats they used to use, because I was coaching NIP at the time, and I remember for whatever reason, my players fell for the same outer to connector inner split twice, and I still can't believe how they...
Just lose your mind for a little bit.
How can they act? How's that even possible? Because we even talked about it before the game. But yeah, they used to do a lot of these gimmicky kind of stuff on Train, and they worked, yes, that once and sometimes twice for some reason. But obviously, it's not very sustainable. But yeah, I mean, they've got the skill. They've not sure how well they've drilled and built into as a team, but obviously on a map like Train, you can get a lot going with just doing. You don't even need to have like that many setups, honestly. When you think of Train, you kind of figure, yeah, you need to have a lot of set plays, but actually as long as you can get ladder control, and you have good ways of getting out of main and ladder simultaneously to pressure yard, you can actually make a T side work really, really well. Or if you use your spawns and you go to that olive position, left side from T main, and then simultaneously you can kind of ladder, you can split yard. Yeah, things can work, but yeah, I mean, this should definitely be a good one. I mean, Ghost is a tactical team. That's what we're expecting to see from them again. On the other hand, you got the explosiveness of the Australians / Norwegians / Kiwis.
That's the thing, right? We've got a crazy lineup on that Renegades side now. But just looking, we've got Ghost on our screens at the moment, right? Yeah. They dispatched of Made in Brazil 2-0. But also, expected. Yeah, that was a kind of crazy one, right? We were all like, yeah, it might be, oh, okay, they just got the back of an event, but they're used to this, they're drilled, they know how to play the game. Instead, we saw them kind of get rolled over a little bit. Closer on the first game, not so much on the second game. The thing that I love, though, from Ghost is, yes, you are tactically prepared. Wardell looking so good. Neptune, the young gun, he was in there. And we finally get to see some heroics come out of Kuster after, I feel like we were talking about him. You were saying 2015. It's probably around the same time we were starting to big him up originally.
Yeah, I mean, I felt when he got picked up by Liquid in 2015 or 2016, and I don't think that really, I mean, obviously didn't work out that well. Yeah. He was trying to fill two big shoes at that point in time in his career, so needed a bit more time for him to really build that confidence and get into the right set of mind for him to be up there fighting with better players and better teams. But I think that this whole team right now just really rolls down to Steel. I mean, he's the guy who definitely has a wild past.
He's been through the rough of it.
Yeah, but it's undeniable that he can definitely put a team together. He has a good mind for Counter-Strike, and he's really, really drilled this team to play some fundamentally sound Counter-Strike. So I feel like, you know, having that kind of skill sets and then having the type of players he has, this is definitely, they're definitely, I think they're in the upper echelon of their potential. I'm not sure how much more upside there is for them. But definitely if you think of the NA competition and you think of them being able to take down Na'Vi in a best of one, take Na'Vi to distance in a best of 3, it's not necessarily a bad place to be right now, is it? So
certainly not.
Definitely potential.
Now you're talking about some of the matchups there. Let's take a quick look at some of the matchups that actually we've seen them play over the last few months. So their past 4 games here in Pro League, they managed to go up against an EU United. Now, they won Train, lost out on Inferno, a closer game there.
Yeah.
But the Envy ones that you see on your screen, again, Envy, they hadn't won up until today where we saw them take 1 map off Complexity. But 16-12 on Dust 2, 16-9 on Inferno. Ghost is almost a bit similar to Ents, I'd say, in that way, right? It's not like convincing mad blowout wins the whole way. With that more tactical approach, a bit more fundamentally sound.
It comes with the territory, right? When you play the numbers, when you're trying to be smart about everything you do, pretty much, you end up having most of all those kind of close affairs. It's just the way it is. But something we discussed before as well. You know, obviously, they've had the upset wins early on in this season. Dropping maps to EU United, yes, it's not the end of the world, but you kind of have to make sure you keep that consistency if you want to be in the top 2 region in terms of the leaderboard come the end of the season, right?
Well, it's not all about Ghost, and I know we could talk about Ghost for quite a while, couldn't we? But it is time to look at Renegades. But before we get into that, take a quick look at the changes that Renegades have made quite recently.
The Australian top team Renegades had a good run at IEM Sydney earlier this year, but since then the results have been poor, to say the least. That has led to some changes in the Australian roster, where Nifty joined the newly formed Envious roster last week, and Ustilla was released from the organization. To fill the 2 empty spots, Renegades has looked within the Australian borders as they've signed the former Greyhounds player Gratisfaction.
To be now and Grat is waiting.
Well, this should just be farming season for Gratisfaction, and it is. Nico and Rain go down. He's got a third there as well, shutting down that push.
And the former Order player Lias.
Lias just dancing around the smoke, going to be dropping that flashbang. F&N, first out, Tarek goes down, it's all down to Automatic, he's completely blinded out, and Order take the 16-7 victory over Cloud9.
Order. Yes. Order. Well done, lads.
Yeah, it's always great to have
You've got to love a bit of that Aussie commentary in there, right? We have Canadians, we have Aussies, we have Brits, we're multitasking commentators with many different accents, many different vibes to it. But this Renegades roster, right? Looking good on paper. They've had a few good games. Map pool's obviously not deep at the moment. And a very big change for both Lias and Gratisfaction in terms of the competition they're facing, which kind of, it's unfair to judge them at this point, right? Because you have to get used to it. It's a whole different way of playing Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I mean, they used to be big fish in small pond, if you're honest. In terms of just the way the scene is, obviously, it's not going to be as skillful as it is when you're playing. Even like in North America right now, that the competition is fierce. So yeah, definitely, I think they've been able to show that they have what it takes. Obviously, the IM Sydney, Order, and Greyhound, obviously they had some good results and being able to play against better European, North American sides before. So I mean, I think it was a good gamble for Renegades to go for these guys and try to make, try to find that new blood in, because they stagnated. Let's be honest here. It just didn't go forward.
Now, looking at these lineups in here, right? We've got the Ghost Gaming roster. I said to both you, Launders and Scrawny, that, you'd be biased because they've got multiple Canadians on there. But going into this matchup, surely they are now the favoured competition in this.
I think so. I mean, they're the best team in Pro League, right? They're, 7-1 at the moment. They beat out, they've taken out 2 of the definitely top 3 teams in Pro League already, 2-0. So there's no. I think they should just straight up win this game.
I mean, here's the crazy part. It's the only team that actually has a better record than Ghost right now is Renegades. Remember that.
Oh,
right?
they do. Yeah, they actually do. Okay.
7 wins, 1 overtime win for Renegades.
Oh,
They've
wow.
yet to lose a map at all.
Oh, true. Good point.
So this is actually really cool. We get the 2 top ranked teams right now.
Wow,
like,
who would have thought?
I feel like the narrative has been, who's kind of contending for that 6th, 7th position. And in this case, we've got the top dogs. So let's see who can keep themselves the most flawless of records. We'll see you guys after, once this map does come to the close. It's just you and I now, Launders. That's the way I like it.
That's when I'm the most scared. That's when I'm the most scared. So, here they are on train. Yeah, that's kind of nuts, man. They top 2 teams in Pro League.
Sorry, I'm just looking for the second map later today.
Hot match of the day.
As well. We have Train and Cash. Ooh, a little cash.
Yeah.
Some cash for the Aussies.
And before we forget, there's also the open qualifiers for the minors have begun. So Tom and Eric told us.
Tom and Eric. Have they begun or were they just announced? I'm not quite sure. All I know is that obviously that next... Man, we just finished Face It.
Maybe I think it's the signups that have been opened up. So if you have a team and you want to have some stickers for your team, then you're going to want to go ahead and sign up to play in the minor qualifier.
Yep.
And the minor qualifier is, I think all the minors will be held in Katowice. If you have a good enough team, good enough up-and-coming players to go ahead and grab yourself a spot, you'll end up in Poland, one of the craziest places for Counter-Strike.
All you'd have to do is head over to esca.net, get signed up for those first stages. Man, I can't believe it's already starting.
Yeah.
Got me riled up, Mohan.
Yeah.
You can kind of get lost, I think, in online CS, in the sense that it's kind of taken like a map-to-map basis. But once we start talking qualifiers, there's so much more on the line immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's easy to forget, if you are these players, that each and every one of these maps is what's going to affect your attendance at the LAN finals. Whereas when it's a weekend of qualifiers, it is action-packed CS. But we're going to be getting into the action here with Train. Renegades and Ghost Gaming, the two top dogs currently in the North American Pro League. Who would have thought that a fresh-faced Renegades and Steel's gang of troops would find themselves here? Odds currently favoring Renegades as we get into the first map. And it is, of course, Ghost on the T side, immediately heading down towards the B bomb site. They have no smoke, but they do have a flashbang. And it blinds up JKS. Will not affect Gratisfaction. He's still over here towards the ladder, and that's an easy just noggin pop versus Neptune. Good counter flash by Renegades. Good hold for the time being. They've got that rotate from Jacob. But Ghost not coming all the way in on this. It's still costly. Losing bodies.
Looking a bit disjointed there. I don't know what, you couldn't tell what their plan was, but now they made it outside. Sabrosa also gets his kill, so they lock down Z, which is a big rotation spot. Obviously, Wardell from a distance with the P250 cleans up Aza, and the man to refresh his spot is Liaz. Whoa, a couple of good kills from him.
Maybe give us a third one. It is just Josh left up. He shall take the high ground. And he's going to get pinched in from ladder room, but this position actually doesn't show him to that player, so he will have an advantage over Liaz first. Ooh. Dropping downwards, and with a fresh mag in, prepares for Gratisfaction, and deals with him swiftly.
Dude, that's crazy. What a 1v2 from Josh. Love how he played that. He took the one risk by going to the top of Zix, but then as he inched his way forward, made sure to clear out Z, which would have been a hard spot to kill. I think he at least gets maybe the first bullet in before being spotted. If that guy ends up in Z, maybe the round ends there. But because the flank is coming from ladder, that was the best position for him to be in. And obviously had the drop on Ivy as well. So nice 1v2, extremely well played.
We're gonna go into the fast-faced A plate. Woohoo! See you later, Steel.
Ooh, I love this anti-eco.
They're gonna come hard in from Ivy. Remember, they've given up one of the guns, and Gratisfaction's had a scout this entire time, but they just go jumping and parading onto the A bomb site, establishing back a man advantage, despite it being with minimal HP. Poor Wardell on less than a quarter health. But still enough to make that MAC-10 work magic. Just comes down to where this last CT is, and Aza, having come from the T-spawn, is soon to be found out once he enters T-con. Wardell waiting on the side.
I love that anti-eco so much. You know, Steel does die there, but him jumping out of T-con into Olaf and then mollying for what would normally be like a rush out to outer play, but using that molly to make sure that nobody that comes out of Ivy has to worry about their right side is so nice, because normally you'd have someone from Ivy throw that Molotov, but it's so much later than if you have someone from T-con throw it, and that makes it so that Ivy is so much easier to take. It's really cool. I like that a lot. I love fast anti-ecos and ones that are so well thought out like that. Very simple moves. And all it takes is really one Molotov, you know, for the entire strat. Big fan of that for sure. Full save here for the Renegades.
Yeah, in the third round. So they do buy up into the second one. We'd seen, you know, I'm still waiting to get to look at each and every one of the teams in the league. We've had some decide to always save. We've had others consistently forcing, and Renegades will begin with the fourth purchase today. 3 casualties, turn 4. Everybody hits the floor. Sabrosa with the final frag and the nail in the coffin in terms of the third round. That's a clean sweep to the start of Ghost's Train T side.
Yeah, we're seeing once again a lot of the action in terms of utility go to the back of 6 to separate Ivy from outside, and it allows you to just have a player or players run up through Old Hell from Olaf into the A site and wrap it and kill everybody who ends up behind the A site train. If flashes go down outside, and enough of them go down outside, all the CTs end up falling back behind the train, because that is usually the safest spot to be in. But once you have control of Old Hell, that spot becomes no longer safe as well. So, like, again, once again, the logic there behind throwing their utility and focusing on that spot. good nade. Oh.
Ooh, dodges it. Neptune just playing around with Azza, keeping his attention turned. And then continuing to chip away at his health, not just in terms of grenades. Oh, that's unfortunate. Neptune blows the brains of Kusta onto the floor. And that's just going to simplify Azza's job. I mean, he follows up with 2 additional kills. This is leaving Ghost in quite a deformed state. Wardell will walk towards Ivy, so Broza's supposed to wait patiently until that happens, but he feels the pressure from so many directions that he knows he could be screwed.
Man, what did that Molotov bounce off of that landed above Sabrosa? I only saw it from the X-ray, but it's like, what is even above him? Oh, good kill. He's fast.
Wardell's got him.
He's a quicken.
With Skadoodle gone, I think Wardell's the best opper in NA.
Whoa.
If you ask him.
Said it here first.
Gratisfaction with the wallbang frag to Sabrosa, so it is just the opper up. He's got himself a second.
One of Wardell's best maps, in my opinion. Very proficient with the AWP on train. And a lot of his top clips have come from clutch situations. There's mid-rounds on this map. Oh my goodness.
He's going to do this. He's got 4 HP. He needs 2 more frags. 8 seconds to do so. Seems a little ridiculous, and at this point, we know it's just not going to happen. Dies to Gratisfaction. But hell, good effort.
Good effort, and he killed the majority. Rule of the majority. Don't know if that was going to catch on, but got 3 kills, so it's going to be difficult. Very strenuous on the rebuys, but Ghost Gaming, yeah, they've got enough to do it, so they come back into this. As we can see, Azur, the man who was playing ladder, is down to UMP. They put a lot of pressure on him at ladder last time. Azur played his spot perfectly, so I don't know how this will change things. If it does at all, we'll see. A UMP very viable from ladder for sure.
He's not alone this time, though, Mohan. Jacob's actually just outside the door, or he was. He falls back safely towards the A site, probably because he sees no T-Con pressure. You want that 2-man push to move forward, just in case T-Con gets hit. You don't want to leave Azza alone in the walk-up. But then once you've established this position from Azur, you just leave him all alone. Takes a really good player to play ladder room on the defense.
Even better players to take it. Very difficult spot.
Would you say that Glaive is the best forward A player you can think of?
I think at one point in history it would have been Fur, but best player, one of the best player on the best team and train one of their best maps. Maybe it's fair to say that Glaive could be one of the best forward aggressive players on Ivy. I could see a good argument for that. Trades happening all across the A site. Jacob's here, and a great timing, picks off Wardell, an instrumental part of the terrorist offense.
Neptune's walkout gets denied. Costs him half his health, but Jacob still survives. And he's convinced Ghost to go elsewhere, so it seems. The latter player going to join forces with the bomb carrier. They're going to run down into the B site and hope they get this planted. Who's on the other side? That's JKS. He moves over to the depths of the oil tankard. Goes to the high ground. He's spotted and dealt with Kusta with a clean headshot. Could use this opportunity to just run forward, close that distance, get into the face of Renegades.
Oh, we didn't see that.
That's an easy pickup. Jacob's down, and not the third frag just yet. Gratisfaction trying to clutch with that op. He's got low HP, and he swaps to the USP, which is not going to help his cause. So Broza wins the duel, and Ghost get Renegades right back.
Yeah, big frag from Kusta, as you mentioned. Just the patience on aiming towards the player that was jumping up Cloud, and eventually just running up and catching the last 2 players off guard too. So critical frags, good rotation inside, and it was a 2v3 situation, so a nice recovery. Goes land on their feet. Renegades here have the eco rounds where they're going to buy somewhat, but not a whole lot, and we know that the economy is just such a pivotal, critical point of interest for the terrorists to try to swamp down, but they haven't been able to. They have succumbed to that. Now Renegades have decided to stack outside. JKS was the scout, spot inner, but there's no one here anymore. He bought down to 0 on this round. Interesting to note.
Yeah, actually, and with Liaz and Azur down to 250 and 100 accordingly, it is really much just Jacob and Gratisfaction still with a bit of cash in their back pocket.
In my opinion, even with the economic changes, I really don't think that there's ever a good round to buy down to 0, except for maybe like 1 or 2 very rare exceptions. But for the most part, as on CT side, buying down to 0 means that you're going to be sacrificing some very important key aspect, either a diffuse kit, head armor, or utility in the round that you will buy. For this, I don't know. What's JKS's gun going to be? $3,400.
Unfortunately for Gratisfaction, he can't get his paw. Oh no, he does get the AK. Excuse me. What?
Did he just swoop that up out of the air? I don't think anyone jumped.
That's
up.
what I was saying. Yeah, I was like, how does he have some kung fu moves?
The magician.
So he does sweep it up, throws it over to Azert. That is 1 AK. How does JKS mitigate? Oh, I was gonna say, are they buying again? But no.
Oh, that's strange. So they last round, I guess. Oh, there's a reset. So they don't have 5-round loss. What am I talking about? I'm just anticipating the double save, so just not spending a lot. JKS is just going to take the full hit this round. Mordell spotted a helmet. CT is playing this round just like they did last round, but now are getting picked apart outside.
Shot from Wardell, a follow-up now as he hits 12 and 3, 13. Easy peasy. Just decimating this A-bomb site. When the poor defenders have nothing more than pistols to work with, you don't expect much. And Wardell showing why.
Do we know what causes hiccups?
The devil.
The devil himself, yeah.
Do you remember that time I cured Marissa Roberto's hiccups?
Yeah.
Northern Arena, Canada.
That was good. That was a good, I think I used the same... Wait, I just hold my breath. I can't remember what... All I have to do is...
I just go unconscious.
My rule is to hold my breath until the next time I would hiccup, and then I don't hiccup again.
I don't know what causes hiccups, man. That's a scientific mystery.
Yeah. It's one of the great mysteries of the universe. Yeah. We need Neil deGrasse Tyson on this immediately.
How do hiccups start, and where did the Giza pyramids really come from?
In that order, we need to answer those questions.
Yeah, definitely 1 and 2.
Yeah. After that, it's how do they get the chocolate inside the caramels?
You mean the caramel inside the chocolate?
Or like, is that what it's called? The caramel? Or caramel, I guess, inside the chocolate.
How do they get the bubbles inside an arrow?
Yeah, that's...
God, life has so many mysteries.
It's unbelievable. It's an amazing world we live in.
All these questions. It's a wonder society doesn't come collapsing down around us.
Who needs science fiction? Reality is crazy enough.
The reality of Renegades is that they are still sitting on a single round. Poor them. Making proactive plays this time. They felt over towards Ivy. They walked into the T-Con, not clearing the back box and dealing with Sabrosa. So still 5v5, but they looked for that exchange.
What was Kusta doing? What happens here? Because someone comes in, starts shooting feet, and then the other player swings out. Oh. I guess that happened. I guess Kusta did get a speed shot and then jumped off.
God,
that's a cool bait setup.
I thought Sabrosa was going to walk by without clearing the ladder. He does so, but gets a kill in the process. They do still lose that ladder control, but it's a good old Ivy T-Con split. Except for the only thing split was Sabrosa, and then Neptune cracks the double skull. Good job clearing the bomb site now. He gets his 4th kill and 3rd right there in the round. So finding a bit of impact when it matters most, but nobody's as impactful so far as Wardell.
This is a stomp, huh? This is a stomp. The number 2 team just stomping the number 1 team in Pro League.
Yeah, gonna give them their first loss, Launchers.
One way to trade. Could happen. Don't want to call it too soon, but the Ghosts are not only good at stomping, but they're also resilient, right? What was the other match? 13-2 that Envy had on them, and they came back and won the map?
Yeah, exactly. And you know who made that comeback really happen? It was an individual level from Wardell, just that no one could seem to stop.
Damn.
Put the man on a op on dust, and you're going to have yourselves quite the play day. And that's what I think is happening here too. I think he has been one of the biggest biggest uptrends for Ghost Gaming. Is like, we knew they always had talented pieces, but nobody seemed to kind of be that ridiculous performer. It has most consistently been Wardell. Like that during their run at Zotac and these other tournaments is kind of where they're getting their biggest hitters, but it's also surrounded by skill. Sabrosa and Neptune.
Just blazing fast, dude. It's like he presses a button to turn around. He was so accurate. Like, he's That's what he does. That's literally what he was meant to do, though. This is what he does in DM all the time.
I think, you know, what's really cool about Sabrosa's story is, remember, he got his first breakout opportunity with Ethan.
In CLG,
of NRG when they both went to CLG. So it's kind of cool to see both of those players now still, you know, I'd say similar in some regards, succeeding in different teams. Ghost and NRG definitely on the up and up. Both of them instrumental pieces. This is a gun round, and look at the pace steal setting. He just goes charging, stampeding, parading into the A site and berating Renegades. But they do, of course, swing back pretty hard themselves. They get themselves enough kills to make it even.
There it is. Sabrosa gets the call. Oh my god, he's going inner, but the rotate is already out. I'm shocked at how quick this rotate is. Sabrosa's like, oh my god, they didn't rotate. I think that was a really good move by him to go that quickly. But Renegades were so smart about the way they called that. I am shocked that they turned tail so quickly. So nicely done from the Renegades. Not going to be an easy round for Wardell to win. We know he's made of magic, but I think he's going to have to channel his inner David Blaine to pull this one out of the hat.
Yeah, not expecting Liaz to be so close. That right there is Renegade's second. 2 players up. It's enough to keep the second sniper. So with 2 ops, Mohan, I think they have a chance at getting themselves a third.
Would need to do it. Well on money. Again, we have not seen a game this stompy in quite a long time. So, what can Ghost Gaming do to deny a third? That was a good opening few kills, and Sabrosa got a key frag that I thought would make the round swing right back into Ghost's favor, but Renegades, again, with a great rotation, pulled it back. Very smart stuff, very decisive stuff. Good kill from JKS. Molotov go down, make sure they can't rush. Denies any opportunity to trade Jacob. Does he live here? Very awkward for him, but also the guy on top of him who cannot aim even farther below. It's just an acute angle.
Another one from JKS. Op paying off this round. We just talked about that double sniper setup, and it certainly found its footing here in round number 11. 5v3 and Ghost reel themselves together, grouping up in the upper box halls. This B defense literally hinges on JKS. They're going to get a rotator now. I think he's called that there's a little too much presence for him and him alone. All the while, of course, Jacob just sits inside the ladder room here, Launders, so they're not going to fret too much. It's just a matter of cutting down the numbers with these ops before they can even get a plant, which would be a nice deny. Oh, my goodness. Wardell just wrecks the face of Gratisfaction. Secondary sniper's been nullified because of the smoke, but this is that ladder room walk around we talked about. Careful, Wardell. Doesn't realize he gives up his back, and that is an easy frag from the Norwegian. Neptune now on the offensive, not traded by Steel, who is so outnumbered, it's easy. That is a third one from Renegades. They keep their 2 snipers, and they keep 4 players alive. So now let's watch these CTs cultivate a bit of cash. And even though they can't finish the half with their lead, they can still get it up to as much as 7.
Yeah, much more reasonable, dignified scoreline. Ghosts, luckily, were able to get a plant there, so they can, people like Kusta, for example, can buy for himself, no problem. I think maybe even drop the gun, I don't know. Gun gets dropped, Kusta, what's he going to buy? Wardell goes ahead and picks up an op for himself. Kusta goes full nade set, and yeah, it's actually Steel and Neptune who have the Galils, so not an amazing buy, but not too bad at the end of the day. Flashes go out to deny any fast outside play that they may be anticipated there, and Steel and Co have decided to focus their attention towards inner. Azure back to ladder, and it's looking like the first rifle round of the match. What kind of pressure will Azure be put under here? How are they going to deal with him? They have been very creative, and oh, that's a... Wow, he actually got shot in the head somehow.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know how gun duels work in ladder room.
Yeah, it's tough.
They just happen.
They just, yeah, they all fall into place somehow. They're going 1-for-1 with Azure's not too bad. Neptune's low, though. Pretty good spot to be in. They've got to pick up the... They want to pick up the AK if possible. Jacob's just going to hold that spray down, and Neptune's too low. I mean, he was aiming in the right spot. The flash was great, but it wasn't good enough. If they had thrown the flash, shown feet, and then gone back up, they would have been fine. But it is a total gamble when it comes down to ladder. Can't really fault people for all the crazy antics that they use, you know? Sometimes playing it, there's no way to play perfectly.
No. I think if you play inside a ladder, sometimes you just got to get dirty.
You got to, yeah.
You know,
you gotta
roll
be
in your
willing
own
to.
filth.
Yeah, it's like one of those positions where you just have to have a very smart individual player. Not all players on top teams are very smart individually. And since there's so many different situations that can occur, you have to have someone who can really roll with the punches. Azur's been doing a good job of that.
So we get our first tactical timeout here, being called by Ghost. Still having twice the score of Renegades, of course.
Yeah.
And I just took a little gander through the results this season, Mohan. I would argue that this is Renegades' hardest opponent yet. You know, they have wins over top of the likes of E-United, Complexity, Luminosity, Rogue.
So they have their MRBRs, NRGs.
Yeah, and those are the, you know, they haven't faced those teams yet, and those are the exact teams that Ghost actually has, you know,
they've already beaten
wins over.
Yeah.
And like Ghost, they 2-0 MIBR in those matches.
Yeah.
So you could argue, if you're not looking at just the map results, but rather
as you should always contextualize results.
Yeah, you could say that Ghosts are still favorites here, despite being in second place. So we shall see if the momentum is completely dead, and Renegades are about to soar forward with a fantastic finish to their defensive side. You'd expect so here in this round, because it is just pistols from Ghost.
Now Ghost quietly move towards inner. Just enough money that they've upgraded guns. Tech 9's on the board. Subroza and Neptune are trying to get ahead of the meta, seeing if the changes will pay off, and we will find out. One entry is all it takes at times. Number 2 man Jacob out here on the opposite side of Spool. Strong position, especially with support. Finds 1 kill.
Pickups
side plant.
Facilitated.
This is the side plant thing that you like so much. The smoke that goes down. Oh, okay.
Still gets him. JKS looking for another. Gets the scope up just in time. These snipers picking them apart. Renegades into the 4 versus 1. Just Yassine Taufik left up. He's gonna burn alive.
Wow, that's a very unfortunate. You know, he tries to get above the Molotov, but then it's the molly that burns the top part of the train too.
Yeah, you really can't escape it.
Yeah, he's just a s'more at that point.
Just a s'more.
On rotisserie.
Smushed in the flames.
Right.
Burnt to a crisp.
What? Yassine Yafik?
Taufik. I could be slaughtering the pronunciation, but the fact is that I said it confidently.
I like that.
So most people would just believe me.
I did. I was one of those guys.
Good. Good. I believe he's Moroccan.
What?
Yassine? I think so.
I don't know. I didn't know Yassine was a Moroccan name. I think.
I could be very wrong.
I think this one maybe, but I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up.
Or ask.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, just hit him with a Steam message.
Shoot him a message.
Steel.
The Krieg.
This looks that was super cool transition. He like scoped up and switched to Gratisfaction.
Yeah.
I'm confident that the Krieg looks better with no skin over that one.
Yeah, that's nasty.
That one looks like they copied just like a texture from Half-Life 1.
I don't know if Steel's too concerned with skins anymore.
Repeated it. Yeah. There's I want to see if anybody continues to use it though.
Gratisfaction's got a little smidgen of an angle here.
Ooh.
But it's cleared. Neptune heads up play to spam close smoke. And that is the man advantage of Renegades taken aback. Can Steel win this duel downwards? Not the most easy of fights for him to be trying to take. Azur's in a good spot where he always sees shadows, so he knows when that player's about to come around the corner.
Yeah, being down a man means they're going to take some risks. Maybe gets a kill here. Oh.
Another headshot from both sides.
Steel dies.
3v2, and JKS up and ready for Neptune to round the corner. Doesn't know if Subroza's in the full wrap, but now he gets his answer, and, well, there's one for Subroza.
It was a good shoulder peek.
Yeah, good attempt, but not enough. Renegades with a fantastic comeback here in this half. I mean, they just show no signs of stopping, Mohan. It has been an utter turnaround. I mean, that's the thing. Ghost did such a good job straight out of the gates. They won themselves 8 rounds in the opening 9.
You know what I would like to see is the eco strat, for them to use the eco strat one more time, where they jump out of T-Con just to throw the Molotov and then have some type of Ivy rush. JKS has been a monster with this AWP. Not the person you expect to be using it. They also take a good ladder spawn, which has been a pain point for the Renegades, or for Ghost Gaming. So
that was such a perfectly timed T-Con walkout. With the Molotov being thrown down onto the ladder room, it completely cuts off that route of attack, but it was all Steel.
So this is the great part about Olaf. So people wonder, why did people send everyone out to Olaf all the time? It's like, once a player's here, there's no easy way to spot him. So from Ivy, you can get in front of the box, but that's about it. JKS also gets hit, misses the first shot, which you don't often see. And now will be smoked out of position, tries to do a timing shot through the smoke, but now he's just got a wall of flames and fire that are denying him all the information.
Wardell has just got this Glock out. I mean, the man's got a scout on his back, but he's not looking to use it just yet. Up into the close proximity of the CTs. He needs this frag, and he's not going to get it with that sidearm in hand. So now Neptune has to clutch a 1 versus 3. Obviously, easy if he can get JKS, but he can't because Gradish Faction snaps him from the back. And that is Renegades with a 7th. Mohan, they finished this half with 6 rounds in a row. They got upset and reset in the 4th round. That is the reason that Ghosts were able to get so many rounds early. But without that economic reset, I think to myself, did Renegades turn this around earlier on? Definitely possible. Awesome little comeback here from the Aussies.
For sure, every round was well earned. It didn't look like Ghost didn't look like slouches in any of those falling. In those last rounds, there was definitely problems for them that they couldn't overcome, like the Azure being so good on ladder, being so proficient with the amount of kills he was getting. But there's just really no way to deal with this area. I feel like the majority of the opening frags came from ladder, which was huge. But then JKS as well. I mean, so as soon as they decided just to avoid outer because they couldn't get ladder control, inner was on lock because JKS was there with his AWP, and he was also making his rounds, going to Ivy and stopping T-Con as well. From different spots on the map, so great to see that mobility from Renegades and from their offer. 8-7, and it's going to feel like a loss for Ghost Gaming to even have a half that good. Yeah,
that double op setup that they were able to afford, save, and keep rolling, I think really made a huge difference. JKS and Gradish Faction just working it so well. So well. See what they have up their sleeve for the T side, and the pistol, Mohan, it's going to be a lot of utility. Molotov, double smokes, 2 flashbangs, and a lot of presence here towards the B site early, but with no bomb.
No bomb in hand. Just gives you an idea of what their game plan is. Are you looking up Morocco?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where it was on a map. It's actually on Africa.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that either. I also... Is that how you spell that? Oh, no, this is
this is in Danish.
Okay, yeah, I was like, wow, learning multiple things at once.
He is definitely Moroccan, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing this flag on his profile.
Oh, okay.
Alas, it is the A hit. That's where they're going to come charging forward with the cover of smoke. Jacob going to try and get the plant, but before Wardell can slice him open, Neptune starts railing some heads against the wall. Now Wardell's regained his gun, and because of that, it's no fun for Renegades. Just Liaz left, and that is a swift collection of headshots from Ghost Gaming.
Very nicely done. Yeah, that's an incredibly important pistol round, as we like to rarely point out. I think it just the fact that Ghost had such a bad half, this, I feel like in their mind psychologically makes up for some of those unfortunate rounds that they couldn't account for. But it was a good comeback from Renegades, so they're probably really scared as well moving into this one. That can help them, I think, with the confidence. Tight race here between Ghost Gaming and Renegades. Top 2 teams in Pro League. Can't be understated. That is a huge feat. One of the most difficult, probably the most difficult season in all of Pro League history.
Yeah, I feel like that, second tier of NACS is just so competitive right now.
Yeah, NACS has definitely become a lot stronger.
Especially amidst itself. Mm-hmm. Not even on an international level, which is also true, but just feel like in NA, anyone can take anyone on any given day.
Yeah, so I think a big thing was the practice. The practice wasn't good for a long time. That means that it's hard for lower tier teams to come up and learn from better teams. So if someone has the secret. Oh, there's an opening frag. It's just Glocks, obviously, but it looks like a plant will come down and deals out of bullets as well. So maybe this gets a bit hairy.
Yeah, a bit of extra cash in their coffers and 2 kills. Liaz is still up with 5 HP, but instantaneously found by Wardell. That is double digits for Ghost as they again start this one with some momentum. They've picked up both pistols, remember that. That in and of itself can increase the likelihood of a Ghost Gaming win here on
Definitely. Train. Now the update was meant to try to mitigate that a bit, but it still is as a free round or 2. So yeah, so I feel like with practice getting a lot worse, or practice being as bad as it used to be. It's so bad. Do you know Daze actually quit Counter-Strike to play Call of Duty at some point in CSGO history? Because he said that it was impossible to find good practice, and he said it was just there's not enough good team scrimming, and he just felt like no one was playing or taking the game seriously, so he actually quit at one point.
Uh-oh, poor Jacob. I mean, that's what happens when you spam your entire magazine and you go for the reload. If Ghost Gaming are that close to you, you know they're going to chase. And by doing so, they've just extended the man advantage into the 5 versus 3. Azza trying to bring it back as he can. Neptune's attention turned in 2 directions, so that's why he falls to Liaz. And Gratisfaction with a follow-up kill. This is fantastic from Renegades. Coming back from a 3 versus 5 into a 2v2. With Bomb close to the site, Wardell trying to find a target, but he is put to sleep. And Sabrosa will be tasked to clutch. Now he sees Gratisfaction moving around. Does not pounce on the opportunity. Doesn't want to jump the gun. But then he misses his follow-up shot. He sees both bodies inside of Z. Doesn't know if they're heading towards B, but now they finally have.
Yeah, he's getting there quite quick. And the bomb can be planted for the opposite side of the site, which is a whole different meta. It's actually a much stronger plan, in my opinion. Tough to deal with. And yeah, he's got one of the. This would be insane for the Renegades to lose. It is just such a difficult afterplant, and they have so many ways that they can win. That's a good Molotov for Cloud. I don't know if it lands right on his feet.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Throws him into the open. Causes the peek, but Gratisfaction wins the duel. So Renegades, in a 3 versus 5 fashion, win their first T-side gun round.
That's true. Damn. 3v5. Unbelievable stuff. And because it's good. Yeah, it's good. They also get a plant off it, which is going to be important for their economy. Ghost Gaming. They've got a op, a scout, and some pistols. Strange. Very strange. Still terrifying, though. I'd be worried if I was the other team. If you find out that Wardell has his op.
Yeah, we know he can single-handedly win rounds when he's got the big green gun. He'll be forced off at this angle here from Ivy. Doesn't want to lose too much of his health before he even really gets a fair duel. The one thing that I think isn't sustainable right now from Ghost Gaming is that you have Wardell at the very top of the scoreboard, 20 frags, and then you have Steel at the bottom with 5. So the distribution is quite
That's
extravagant.
crazy. I thought Steel was playing well because he had that 1v2.
But then you look over to Renegades and you've got a difference of 14 to 10. So everybody's actually putting in the numbers. And when you have that consistency from anyone, think about how last round it unfolds because Gratisfaction picks up a duel, Azur gets the big ones, but even Liaz in that situation finds himself impact. So it took everybody in that 3v5 to make it happen. And it's a good thing for Renegades that everybody's playing well here tonight. We'll see if they can continue this. As they still haven't managed to kill versus this force-up from Ghost Gaming. 45 seconds left for them to try and do so. Liaz caught fumbling guns. So the Deagle of Neptune's good for 1, and Kusta now comes in from the corner over towards the B site where Bomb was trying to get down.
Technically a man advantage here, but Azur makes a change.
2v2. AK's up close.
Does he know?
It's going to be a really tough shot for Wardell to hit, especially with only a third of his health left over. But he gets killed from behind. Steel strikes first, and Gratisfaction's going to have to clutch this. It's 2 CTs, and it only takes 1. Wardell, no fun. Denies any kind of a clutch, and that's a defuse for Ghost. So poor Renegades, just like in the first half, Launders, we talked about that momentum established by Ghost because they reset them after Renegades won only 1 round. This could happen again.
Yeah. You know, I think in the other kills or other stats section of the scoreboard should have something with clutch statistics just because of how important those are. And then there's that one, like the kill that Steel gets there, it just totally changes the game because Wardell's dead without his help. And then it's a 2v2 where they win the round because of it. But that was an eco round that Wardell decided to buy off because I think he had some residual income from the previous rounds. But other than that, they didn't have much invested. Renegades have that stolen away from them. 5 rounds for Close Gaming to close this game out, and the Renegades are suddenly have a lot of momentum taken from them, even though they had such a good couple of rounds prior. Such a good couple of rounds prior. Renegades are a team that are going to have to go through the minor circuit one more time. It's so unfortunate because they qualified, I think, two majors in a row, but then get just like eviscerated in the group stages.
Eviscerated. That's a great word.
Yeah.
Eviscerated.
That's kind of what happened. Imagine a paper shredder with fire at the bottom. That's what I picture when I think of eviscerated.
Yeah.
Like
me too.
And being a piece of paper in that situation would be terrifying to know that not only will you get ripped to shreds, but then burned alive.
Like a mulcher.
Immolated.
Like a what are those things?
The resident Australian correspondent Rush to say that Renegades are lagging at the moment.
I'm trying to think. What is that thing you put
trees into to shred them.
Like a lumber, you put the...
wood chipper.
A wood chipper, yeah, there you go.
Wood chippers definitely eviscerate.
Evisceration has to do with a wood chipper in a lot of circumstances. You saw 1,000 Ways to Die when they threw the guy in the wood chipper?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
Saw an episode. It's had some really corny special effects, but it's good show.
On 1,000 Ways to Die, there was somebody who died by...
Would you rather freeze to death or be burned to death? I think would you say?
I mean, I'm Canadian. We can't freeze to death.
I think... Well, that's unfortunate for me because I would rather...
See, the thing with freezing to death is that you don't feel the pain.
Exactly. That's the nice
so
part.
It's painless.
I think it's way better.
But, you know, and fire... Well, that's just not fun. Yeah. Fire melts. Okay, at no point in my life do I want to melt. And
it's like stillness is your friend, maybe in both situations, but stillness is much easier when you're cold.
Yeah.
But fire, you're like, oh, something like pokes you on the side. It's like, oh, I'm burning on the side now. I'm burning my obliques. Oh my god, my lats. Yeah. And you're like all constantly moving, and then it hurts even more. So it's a struggle the whole time.
I remember there was an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die where a guy had some, let's say, bowel issues.
Okay.
And
constipated.
So he was sitting on a garbage can because he had an emergency situation.
So he chose a garbage.
And he fell into the garbage can.
Uh-oh, yeah.
Right, and he couldn't get out.
Right.
And it started rolling down the hill.
Oh,
yeah.
Why is this on the edge of a hill? This is such a strange situation.
I think like San Francisco. You know, the roads are hills.
Hilly, yes.
So then it just started rolling, and he got beat up by it.
That would happen in San Francisco. Have you ever been there?
No.
Okay, but once you go there, it's honestly a pretty dirty city in some ways. Very nice city in a lot of ways, but it smells bad. I could definitely see people pooping on the streets.
Why were you in San Francisco?
For a couple of times I went to San Francisco. The first time I can't remember. Oh, I went there I did like a Kickstarter video for an audio company, and then I don't know what the other time was that I went there. Oh, I went there to visit Twitch. I got a...
Wait, didn't you... Yeah,
tour.
hold on. Before you left Los Angeles, didn't you go to San Francisco just to party?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't somebody fly you to San Francisco? That's a good story.
Oh, yeah, we got flown out to San Francisco just for a party. That's cool.
When you know you've made it.
I think that was a sign.
If you have to take an airplane to a party...
Free one?
You're doing all right.
Free plane. That was cool.
How long of a flight is that? Can't be too far.
An hour? 2 hours?
That's crazy. That's as far as as it took us to get from Munich to here in Copenhagen.
Here in Copenhagen.
It blows my mind whenever we're in Europe. And it's like the average flight time's an hour and a half.
It's wonderful.
I can't even get to Toronto in an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can go everywhere. And
this is a different world. This European place.
It's very cool. You can kind of have you can just taste all these different cultures with just and you can just use a train.
Yep.
It's very cool.
True, trains not really used to commute in Canada.
Jealous of that.
Even with the Great Canadian Railroad.
Canada, if you go for an hour and a half, where do you end up? Almost nowhere in any direction from a big city.
No, absolutely. Yeah, for me to drive from... It takes me an hour and a half to go from Montreal to my hometown, yeah. And it's not far away. My goodness. But enough of the vastness of North America. Enough of the shrunken European continent. Let's get back into the CS, because Renegades ping is gone, and so are the days of just pistol rounds. They've got themselves some weapons. Light utility, still one smoke and a couple flashbangs, and that smoke's actually just been dealt with. Kusta gets a kill through one. Never supposed to happen. Luckily, utility picked up and retrieved by Azur, but they still don't have an entry, and they're still playing man down.
Smoke that goes up. It doesn't... Oh, there's a little bit of a spot there where you can get spotted from Z, but the two players in B just go down, losing fights straight up. And this is now a much easier round for the Renegades. Also, the big flank. The jig is up on this. Sabrosa now has to... It could be a very unfair fight against him. And, oh, he wins it. That's big. 3-4. Or sorry, 3-3, actually. But JKS changes that, and now Wardell is just nowhere to be found. He is out there in Ivy playing with the pigeons.
Saving. Keeping that big green gun. Renegades. Very important. I mean, we talked about how they were susceptible to the resets and how that happened in the first half as well, but this is the difference maker. It's now 1 round back and forth 3 times. Subroza's on this.
Are you kidding me?
Subroza's got himself a kit. It's going to have to be the run-up with that op. He needs to
Oh my god.
get that headshot, and Liaz saves the day.
What the heck was that? Wow, that was close.
That is a devilish attempt from Subroza.
That would have been... Imagine if they win that round too, especially after the last round that Renegades had to stomach, where they lost the 2v2 in the eco, and then that one. And at least he gets a kill out of it too.
I like that.
Connor's rubbing his hands together. He's got plans for his next face or ESEA pug.
B+, by the way.
B+, by the way. A- in May.
What's that?
12 by the way, 13 in May. A B+, by the way. A- in May.
You and your Twitch memes.
Just continuing the memes.
This is on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, get out of here.
Okay.
Wrong place, chump.
I mean, it's not emote dependent, so.
That's true. You have a saving grace in that regards. The saving grace, again, as said, for Renegades is the fact that they didn't get upset, they didn't get reset. They've exchanged rounds back and forth with Ghost for 4 consecutive at this time. Number 5 in a row, if Ghost can manage with just the Op, Scout, and MP9, but they've already lost the first body. Wardell is going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders here, and you can see him already trying to reposition. Very awkward stance for him to try and deal with. But if he does lock down the upper hall, then that could be one thing. He needs this kill onto JKS, and he gets it up close. Then going back into the site, trying to find a little bit more, and he will. A headshot into Liaz just as Subroza arrives. Wardell taking this round on his own. Sure, he needs Subroza to come in to deny plant. The Neptune rotation looks good as well. But if it all goes down, if Ghosts secure this, it's because Wardell locked off the upper halls. And Jacob, he would love to duel. He'd love to dance, but he finds no one to tango with. The CTs avoid him, and he has to go get that bomb.
Oh, whoa. To get away? Yeah. Another kill lost sight of. That was maybe his one out to go for this safely. It looks like mistakes could still be made. Could be a money grenade, though it doesn't blow up on top of the 1 CT that was in sight recently. Jacobs gets shot on the side. No, he comes away with a frag. Oh,
gets dinked. Manages to fall down. Jacobs actually gunning for the ace right now.
Holy smokes. This looks somewhat viable somehow.
Just needs to find these duels isolated, separate the CTs, and he could do that. But the position is assumed by Subroza. He gets around, and then Jacob still gets the kill. 10 seconds. He's going to have to go for the plant, and Subroza's walking up, so the headshot could be there. But Yassine drops him with the clutch, and Ghost continue this back and forth fray.
My goodness, he made that as competitive as possible. I can't believe in that 1v3 he was able to find those kills. Definitely an argument that they could have played a little bit more passively, but still, it didn't seem like there was going to be a way out, and he found it. Managed to surmise one for himself. But that's a tough round to lose still for Renegades. Comes back to Wardell, right?
It does, and that was the thing, is I question the consistency of Wardell just picking up rounds over and over. Because Renegades, the whole team is playing so well, but if Wardell continues to put up these important, crucial frags, then maybe it is enough for Ghost to just take this over the line. It's not going to be easy, and it hasn't been. Sloppy in the last 6 rounds. But I do love me some sloppy CS at times.
Mm-hmm. Wardell picks up a great bit of information here at Ivy. And even though kills are had 4-4, gun advantage is clearly in the favor of Ghost Gaming. The Scout will somewhat push that advantage.
But Gratisfaction's got one from above. It's consistent trade frags back and forth. Neptune, hell, dropped by Azza. Wardell doubles back. Where's his teammate? Towards Z. It is Kusta with a Molotov and an MP5. The Renegades have this blanket of secrecy.
Yeah, he can continue to cut this off if he wants to. He doesn't want to die knowing that someone might be looking for him. Oh, wow. Liaz, I mean, I feel like he picked a good time to peek.
Bless you.
Bless you too.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if any of those were heard. We were very clutch on the cough buttons, but yeah.
So that's it. That's finally the trend broken, Launders. This is when we have 2 rounds consecutive for one of these 2 teams. And in the end, even though Ghost had a chance to do this, and round 4 and 5, they'll do it in the 8th and 9th instead here in the second half. So you see the result of it. Renegades broken economically, just playing with pistols. Nothing truly to play off of. But crazier things have happened before.
Indeed. They're still online at the end of the day. Anything is possible. One flash. Pocket flash comes out. MP5, though, unfazed.
Only 1 per MP5. That's actually a really...
Not a good return on investment.
lackluster hold, but luckily Wardell's in position. USP is up. Dueling versus Jacob. He'll take him. And Azza now comes down ramp into his death. Wardell, once more, the difference maker. A single more frag in this map is going to put him on 30. And the next closest teammate, 18.
At times he does have that LeBron James effect that we talk about with Simple. But there are lots of heavy hitters on this team, and not many J.R. Smiths. So I think they're, in some ways, have the ability to be a lot more consistent versus top competition. It's just funny, it's just crazy because the Renegades are so up and coming as well in their own way. Flash goes out to Ivy, no one's here to push, and Neptune's here from the back lines. He hasn't really been tested in a position on the map that I would say is so critical at the top level to make sure to hold down. There hasn't been a lot of Ivy attention except on anti-ecos.
That's the big noise. And he gets distracted by steel. That's the thing. You see an opponent, and you don't expect one to be just tucked away in the cubby. But it happens like that. Yeah. Jacob gets past the smoke into the face of steel, turned right back around. And a 4 versus 3 here for Ghost. Despite the bomb being planted on A, JKS is still inside of T-Con, so he's going to hit Sabrosa in the back, and that should be a man advantage for Renegades. They're actually in a solid position here as long as JKS stays alive, which should not be a problem, except he reveals himself. The CTs now realize that they have been boxed in. Within the bomb site in T-Con, they are in a very tricky situation. JKS smoked off as his teammates continue to fall. That could be the problem. If they lose the bomb site, then JKS is screwed, you'd think. Unless he manages the 1 versus 3, and he could actually do it. He's won the round. The bomb's gonna go off. Wardell tries to escape the fiery explosion, and he will do so minimally. Awesome round there from JKS coming in late off T-Con.
Yeah, and it could have got ugly. Obviously, he sprayed it. Wait, was it Jacob? And then he came after Jacob? Or was it just...
Yeah, it was, no, I think it was Azza who dies to Steel / Sabrosa. JKS comes down late.
Okay, so then he's the one who shot at Sabrosa's sandwich and missed. Okay, so yeah, good recovery from him. Yeah.
Big time.
And the one tap through the smoke, I mean, the thing is, if there was an extra second left on the bomb, they could have defused from the other side and wouldn't have been so afraid about running out of time. And then I don't think he's able to get around there fast enough.
Speaking of fast enough, look at Renegades go. They're already poised up in T-Con and ladder room.
That's huge.
But they don't go into that next gear, which would have been shifting into the site. Just looking to group up and play for the team fight, yet Ghost Gaming. Very little A control right now.
Nades outside.
They're going to walk through them.
Ooh, and off. Whoa, Sabrosa spotted. Off has been delivered to the T's, and there's so much smoke to guys. They're crossed onto the site that Wardell can't even find impact.
No, I mean, they went into that double Ivy setup, and Neptune, who decided to go forward as Wardell went back, has also been caught. So these counter terrorists are going to try to save, and I don't even know if they'll get away with it, because now Wardell's been found.
Now what happens here? The opening kill is all they needed. And it looks like the CTs didn't have that much to work with anyways. I guess they were anticipating the double save. Wardell hanging onto the op is huge because the last time he did this on the eco, they actually won it. And he is that kind of player. I mean, he knows exactly how much attention he needs to give himself to have impact. And that's 4 CTs dead. So that's kind of a big win for Renegades. They really were, it was worth it for them to take the risk and try to find kills. But Wardell keeping the op is the most important thing. 30 bomb on the board.
Never, ever should they be able to rob this round away. But sometimes I like to just see Wardell unleashed. And in a round like this, you have nothing else to lose.
Definitely.
So if ever it was going to happen, this would be the time.
Go for it.
Currently, he resides behind Kusta. An aggressive stance on the B bomb site and within T-Con. Sabrosa to assume the same corner. Remember, Azur literally died to this just 2 rounds ago.
Yeah, we don't know if in that round, if they flashed in or if Sabrosa walked in, and that's why he wasn't aware of it. But they've got a similar bait setup. They've got eyes here. I don't know if they have a flash to help them continue, but Sabrosa now moves out. Just feeling maybe a bit worried. Oh, he goes for the jump once again. Doesn't spot Sabrosa. Close left, however, and gets tagged up from the right. So now might have some misinformation, but ladder is wide open. Sabrosa's position is not safe.
Even despite there not being anyone from Renegades actually inside it. That's the thing. They've got still 3 floating around their spawn. And now that seems like they will make their move. They are heading into the B bomb site, Mohan, and that is where Wardell resides.
The funnel might be successful. Or do they change their tune? Wardell's low now.
Yeah, and so is Jacob. He just got legged. Could have been the first casualty versus Renegades, but instead, finding that op, they have moved their pieces into the A-bomb site. Steel finds a kill with close proximity, and Neptune the same with an USP. They have put this into even ground, but Neptune's then overwhelmed, and Steel, the same fate. So Wardell, with everything to take, has to find 3 bodies.
What's he want to do here? Does make his way out. Ladder doesn't stop him. Oh,
the close one's the first to fall. Wardell, double flashbang, 26 HP. He is not supposed to pull this out of the hat.
He was spotted. Knows that they know he's off it.
And they also know he's in the open. There's no cover that he can manage to find. Liaz over towards Ivy, hits him from behind, and that is our 12th round now for Renegades.
Yeah, an argument for him there to, once he gets the kill and they're just not giving him anything else, misses that one kind of random wallbang attempt on ladder that he tries to save the AWP, but he's got 6750 in the bank. He can go ahead and buy that again. And the economy is not so important at this point. We're coming into the later rounds of the game. Maybe it's still relevant, you know, depending on if Ghosts are going to have to save if they lose this, but at least they now get a full buy to go up against Renegades, who are starting to get close now. It's starting to haunt them, I think, that the pistol, one of the favorite of Ghost.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, remember, they in the first 15, they managed 6 of the last 6 rounds. And that's starting to happen here again. Currently sitting on a 3-round spree. Gunning for so much more. It would actually have to be 7 rounds in a row if they don't want to go into overtime.
Yikes.
Minimal margin of error.
The smallest.
Head boost.
Oh, that's crazy. That is not easy to do.
Track wrecks him, but then Liaz gets the double right back.
He's been a fantastic entry man for the Renegades.
They found the opening, Mohan, but then it was Ghost left gaped open towards that Ivy side.
Sabrosa, is he actually on the ladder right now? That's kind of a precarious spot. Oh no, he's good. Trying not to get exposed to Ivy. He's got actually a few different engagements that could happen, and he likes to spin around, so it will definitely come down to timing with Sabrosa. But he now moves into safer territory. Renegades, what move do they make here? 4-3, they could still lose.
They've got to make a move, because if the smoke fades, then Steel's going to be presented with a bunch of bodies, but they actually plume a second smoke just in time. Liaz waits, and he gets himself the kill. Immediately, Steel caught on his attempt to run through smoke. Sabrosa, however, knows that they should have pushed forward, but where'd they get off to? And where is he, is what Renegades must ask. Kusta making noise towards Z, pulls attention slightly, but it still hasn't given Sabrosa an opening. He's just hunting, hoping to find someone in his crosshair, but it's like as if they're the ghosts. Renegades cannot be found. No one can be seen. Finally, Yassine catches Liaz. Sure enough, but then he's dropped straight back, and Kusta ejects towards the safety of the upper B halls. This is Renegades with a 13th round, and even though they've lost both pistols, even though it's come at the end of the halves here, Launders, they could still walk away with this because it is looking consistent.
Consistent, the key word, definitely, where it's not easy rounds, but they're still edging them out every single time. And as for the the Renegades there. Liaz is the man of the hour. Wardell getting this kill is so critical and so difficult at times. But Liaz coming right out for the trade, pre-firing the angle that Wardell was in, and then also killing Neptune, the young star of Ghost Gaming. It's just a big, big win for them. I mean, right there, if any of them get traded, obviously, maybe they don't get up Ivy, maybe the bomb cannot get planted, and Ghost Gaming seal up 15, and here instead they have to save. So they threw a couple of set grenades outside. Go to receive one at ladder. And it's all pistols, but we've got all these forward aggressive positions from the CTs. Makes you wonder. Really makes you thonk.
I don't like to think too hard.
Sometimes it hurts.
Man, cleanup.
That's a flash.
Yep. Good utility usage, and look at the way they just run rampant off of it. Charge forward, take their bomb site, take their prize with both hands, and leave Jacob to mop up what's left here of Ghost Gaming. Just a puddle on the floor of these box halls.
This is 14-14 once again. Didn't think it was going to happen. Such a strong start from Ghost. And suddenly, Renegades have come back into it. Kusta, he survived last round with the save. This one's going to be quite a bit harder. They're looking for him. Here's a ladder. It's the dink at the top. Now round 29 will take effect. I think they've done a good job of having Wardell op every single time. I don't know if it's just a personal allowance that he's given himself for the ecos that he's kept a good eye on, but he's always had an op for the rifles, and that's hard when you're losing rounds constantly. So for whatever reason, that's just been a good focus. Control. Yeah, good economy control.
Very well calculated. Ghost always seemed to be, but math will only get you so far, nerds.
That's true. That's why we play Counter-Strike.
Let's frag.
So we don't have to do that.
Dodging grenades. Wardell still takes substantial damage. 56, and oh man, that one could have actually...
That would have been insane.
Yeah. 3 grenades and all 3 soften up the Opper. 4 frags thrown out by Renegades, and all of them have at least hit a mark.
Australis, the Australian Stralis. Oh, but Sabrosa gets 1 kill at ladder. What made JKS think he could sneak down there? I wonder. It wasn't the time. There was a moment there where Sabrosa was turned around, but it was only a slight second. JKS really just tried to perform the creep. Was that the risk that Renegades needed to take? They don't know how much nade damage they dealt. You maybe assume it's some. But they had a good thing going there for a second. Oh, shot miss from Kusta. Wanted to take the risk, was definitely worthwhile. And now again, players are very hurt for Ghost Gaming.
Very hurt, but still up in numbers. Renegades, where are you at? Inside T-Con.
Oh, that's a good nade. Good Molotov.
25 seconds. This is such a heated moment, and then Jacob just takes it by storm. So Wardell, as he has been, needs to be the hard carry here on the A site. He is just jittering around the bomb, and he manages to find Jacob. He can't prevent the peak, or plant rather, excuse me. But he still has kept his team in this. Even keel. As we get this retake coming in from Z, look at the HP here that remains for Ghost Gaming. I mean, this round decides who secures OT. And it has come down to a knife's edge. Neptune up close. Liaz cleans both. And Kusta has to clutch it. He has been given 0 targets. The bomb already more than halfway gone. What a showing from Renegades, taking A by storm once more. And Kusta, he's going to run forward, but he doesn't have a kit on him. He doesn't have the defuse. Renegades find 15.
Unreal. What a round. I thought, man, Ghosts were doing everything they could in their power to bring that back. I mean, what a shot from Wardell. That was a key kill, but then this flash to help Liaz push to nail 2 players down who were extremely low, and it seemed like he was going to have to fight in a headshot position, which would have made it an even ground for his opponent coming around the train, but instead, because he pushes out, exposes both their bodies, doesn't even need to hit the head. And Renegades come out with the 29th round, 15-14 now, and they could actually just straight up win. Ghost, I don't know how much money they have, but I don't think it's very much. They were on a buy save rhythm.
This is wild for Renegades. I mean, the fact that, again, they've lost both pistols, Ghost converted for at least 2 rounds each time.
Yeah, this is crazy. This will be the biggest win of their season too, right? This is, you know, the top team.
You could argue. I mean, and Renegades too, like they put this into your perspective. Like Ghost, in the opening 9 rounds of the first half, Ghost win 8. in the opening 9 rounds of the second half, Ghost wins 6.
Yeah.
Like that right there, that's your 14 rounds, Launders.
That's all you need, really. That's what you thought.
14 rounds in just 18 of the starting. How have Renegades managed to hold on to this? What an awesome feat they have managed here on Train. Having lost both pistols, having given up so much early momentum, and still they've weathered the storm, at least to get overtime, because I wouldn't count Ghost out. Wardell working upwards towards the Ivy, and he has not been given the kill he'd hoped for. He had the chance. Sliver.
It was really that nade damage, too, that I think helped him tow it over the line
time.
at the end. You know, all those players that were so low. Molotov damage on Neptune at the end as well. It's just damage they didn't even know they had. But it has been labored rounds. Every single one has been difficult. It seems like Ghosts have been able to come close, or maybe would have been able to win every single one of them. Here's an opening kill once again. Oh, Sabrosa goes for 2. This is now looking a lot more hairy. Can pick up the smoke that he sees in front of him.
They get that 15th round, and now Mohan, they're going to give one up.
After it's 6, I guess. 6 rounds in a row for the Renegades.
6 in a row to finish the first half. 6 in a row here to get OT. The 7th is what would have made the difference, and they still do have a chance because they're just gunning into the B bomb site in a 3 versus 5, something that they've won before, but never on this portion of the map. Liaz, who had a huge impact last time with the 3v5, only gets himself 1 kill. There's the bomb planter, now left alone, and it is going past regulation, folks. Overtime on the menu.
They're not just going to roll over and die. Let the game go that easily. Nope. Ghost shows some signs of life in the very last round of the game. The Renegades, even though they did such a good job on the comeback, it's another round again where it just seems like Ghost could have won each of those rounds previously, but now was just the time that it happened. It's a very close matchup. These guys are really titans in Pro League at the moment.
Like we said, right? First and second position, gunning for that win. I'm sure it means something to kind of take a chip out of your top contender.
Absolutely. Like the world.
These pistols were really pristine for Ghost Gaming. The only reason that they're still in this match, of course, is because they picked up both pistols.
For sure. And I mean, again, the changes are meant to mitigate the effects of that. Maybe go straight up win before the changes, obviously, because, you know, it's like way less economy involved. Or way less ability to come back despite losing a pistol before, but yeah, you know, those are a couple of important rounds. But now, as you can see, first to 19. We'll start with 3 rounds continuing from where we left off in regulation, which will be interesting to see. The only difference now is that everyone's got 16K, and they won't basically have to think about their spending habits. Full sets of utility. All the ops you can ask for. Double op, in fact, for Ghost Gaming. Gratisfaction has his, and he's moving out with a spawn to try to enter here, but Kusta gets in his face.
Kusta alone on that play. What an aggressive thing to do without a teammate there behind you. Did have one to support from Z, but the outcome, as you see, is a 4v4 with HP edge for Ghost.
How does Steel clean up now on the inner bomb site? He's actually moving up towards outer. I don't know if he's going up this ladder. He might. Seems like he is. Yeah, and is now taking an aggressive angle. There might be a fight here between him and Liaz, it looks like. No, instead he's just holding on to a very common angle for the CTs. No flash here to try to deny him. That would be all they needed to guarantee this. If they don't clear upper, it's the #1 mistake teams will make.
Yeah, I mean, Wardell won a round from that position.
Yeah.
So now it's Steel's turn to try the same.
He wants to peek. Oh, he's going to give them info. Yeah. Everyone's going to be worried now about ladder.
And they're going to stay stacked on it. Sabrosa very wary of T-Con, but he knows if he can play in close proximity to this door that maybe he just mows them all down.
Oh, whoa.
Except for Steel gets caught on the walk-up. I mean, 30 seconds left, and he goes for that play from behind. And because he dies, B open for the taking. Renegades rotate, and good for them, keeping attention turned to the back, in which case they have now walked away with the first round in overtime. There's no way this retake happens.
Crazy amount of patience there from the Renegades that they even picked up Steel. I like that he pushes, obviously, because he sees them throw smokes. He has info that they didn't know that he had. And yet they came back to watch the flank. I'm shocked at that. Expecting a push after throwing what would be like an exec inner. It seems so unlikely. I'm really shocked that they watched it, but a very smart play nonetheless.
Round-winning play. Pops open the B site, and then they just storm forward, plugging the hole with their own bodies. So, that is 16-15. Renegades continuing the success of their T side. Although Subroza grabs a second top.
Yeah. See if it matters. They do have a lot of money, but in the third round, maybe wouldn't be able to pick up 2 ops, so could be something. Kusta and Wardell will again in tandem be opping for the CT side of Ghost. Don't know if there's going to be any aggressive plays. Certainly wasn't, I think, the key factor in the round. I think it was just Renegade's patience and the way that they rotated off of the information they had. And we're down now at Ivy once again versus 3. We've seen this before. Run boost coming out. No, first kill is there. Off on cycle, hits the no-scope. Can he do 3? He can!
Just obliterates that Ivy push. I mean, 3 ridiculous kills in rapid succession, and on top of it, bomb offered into his lap. Subroza with another one, but my goodness.
Oh man, and these are just totally segregated from the bomb now. What chance do they have? Gratisfaction under the smoke. He's all alone. 1 minute left. I mean, he's basically just burning the clock for no reason at this point. You might as well fast forward here, you would assume. And yeah, he just dies after that head stack is cut short. But what is this? This is monstrous. He has no time to scope here. It's a quick one technically, and so is the second, but oh my god. Oh my god.
Just, he had to shoot in that instant with the second kill, and then he had, you know, the presence of mind to still expect a third.
Yeah.
Nails the headshot too.
Versus 3, dude. Like.
Yep. Sick individual play here from Wardell, but that's really been the story of Ghost Gaming tonight on Train. It's been Wardell, and a little more Wardell.
A little Wardell there, yeah. At the end, don't forget. Wardell, yeah. Oh, can he go? No, he's not got 5 in him.
Cut down after 1 towards Ivy. Neptune's going to have to pick up the slack.
Bang, that's a big kill. Steel goes down, trying to scout out any information he can inside of T-Con. And Neptune will come up on top of him afterwards, which might be unexpected. Just gonna say, look, if you had the A4, this is what you could do.
All the while, Renegades have moved the majority of their forces towards Ivy.
The amount of control, though, for the CTs, I don't know. They've got the ladder, they pushed inner. They know that one's in T-Con, but they're falling out of spots that could be dangerous. Versus Ivy, I don't know. They've not got a great place to watch this from. Neptune, can you get more than 1 from here? This will be a big question.
Accuracy is going to have to be on point, and the gun needs to be in your hands.
Ooh, what a flash.
It's good. It's enough to change positions. Have to look away from that one. Can't put his crosshair back up in place fast enough as was anticipated, but still,
oh my God,
he blows a hole in the face of Subroza. So Kusta smokes off the bomb carriage and now has to run through these flames to try and disrupt the plant, but he can't. It's gone down, and he is screwed. Standing in the wide open here, Mohan, is not a good look for him, but he still has sectioned off these kills.
Oh, he knows.
And he will continue to attempt this. He knows there's a player up top. Could assume Gratisfaction's on Ivy, but this is going to be a hard shot to hit.
Got no kit.
Manages to fit through the bomb plant, but then JKS does find him. That is a 17th for Renegades, picking up 2 of the 3 T-sided overtime rounds, and then therefore Ghost will have to mirror that or get the clean sweep.
There were some great adjustments involved there from the Renegades. They did such a good job, or sorry, from Ghost, where outside low on numbers, they traded for ladder and for T-Con, but the best adjustment there for the Renegades was to go through Ivy, put a lot of pressure on Neptune, who I think tried to dodge a flash flick the wrong way at first, and then was just all just had his wires crossed and couldn't readjust.
I've been pretty impressed with the calls here from Renegades.
For sure, yeah, it's been a big thing.
You know, keeping an eye on that flank from Steel, punishing him and hitting that B site.
Yeah.
This time, kind of taking that breather in the mid-round to move everybody over on Ivy. There's been some really nice mid-round decisions here from Renegades.
Yeah, they're looking as smart as they are fierce. Lots of the kills have been fantastic, but then just the calls and the confident and cautious play across the board. It's definitely notable, and it looks like even they bring it to OT, they might be able to also win the game. Like, this is very, very surprising. And those rounds were hard to win again. Ghosts have been putting up a fight every single time. But the slight edges now to the Renegades, who need 2 to win this. Ghost look to have a dominant T half like they did on the start of the game. Wardell jumps out fast, gets 1 leg, but that's not good enough. 3 peaks, can't find it.
He's just rolling around the box now. Ivy cleared out by Sabrosa. Still Gratisfaction. A liability as Wardell drops another. It is Kusta to finish that kill, and Jacob cleared then after. So Ghost just sweeping through the kill feed, putting it all on Mr. Savage. JKS not being given any targets this round. He was over towards the B site, and before he knew it, his whole team's dead.
Is his first name Justin?
I believe so. Justin Savage.
Is that the actor's name from Boy Meets World? Justin Savage. Or the creator of Boy Meets World? Justin Savage, creator? Some Adams? No. What? Who's
Ben Savage.
Ben Savage. Okay, never mind.
Did you know that the main character who played Malcolm actually doesn't remember the vast majority of that show?
That sounds like me.
Yeah, he has he can't recall filming it actually.
Oh, why?
He has memory issues.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's great. So you can just watch it over and over again? Wow, I did that.
This guy's great. Just like Wardell is. My God, look at the way he just flies out T-Con. Oh, that's such a gnarly nade. And Liaz in from the corner, can't get anything further. I mean, Ghost Gaming are all lucky to be alive, but then the cleanup begins. And even though it's a man advantage, I mean, we're at 1.5 minutes, and we have had chaos, momentum, and speed here in the 5th of OT. 17 apiece. And there's no rest for the wicked, so Ghost with Renegades still just trying to lock down the site. Nothing else happens, and it's Justin yet once more left alone. He knows that he's going to be pinched from both directions, but it's so difficult to kind of float within these pieces of cover and not be exposed. So he's going to have to move perfectly.
He's got the worst gun. He doesn't know how low they are.
And if he moves over towards CT spawn launders, that's going to give the perfect window of opportunity for Ghost to go for the plant.
Look at that. Gets smoked out of his own spot. He came into his house, ate his porridge.
Walks through smokes and caught by Steel. That's 18 for Ghost. So they have done the same as Renegades. But can they push this over the line? They are standing on the finish line.
It really felt like this was going to be not going to end in the first OT, and it felt like the Renegades were going to be able to take 18 first, but Ghost, they're coming back into this looking strong like they did in the first half. Maybe learning from some of the mistakes they had early on, and they turned up the tempo. They did a couple of fast outsides, but not very many in the beginning of this game. So now everybody from Ghost sliding into the inner bomb site, doing a little bit of good damage. The smoke goes down, but it's not a nade. JKS misses his op shot as they jump over top of his scope.
Gratisfaction gets into the back line fast enough to still find impact, just like Azza has. Wardell, though, already posted up from above. The Guardian Angel needs to swoop downwards and put an end to the Renegades, because that's 3 CTs already pushed up past the oil tankard. Azzer hasn't been able to find anybody until he does catch the back of Kusta, but Wardell's still up, and he's continuously laying down the law. A Molotov on top of bombs. Steel down ramp now as the bombs hit the halfway mark. He needs to stop them if they attempt to defuse, but they've got no clue where he's at. He comes back for more. Steel puts an end to this match. Train belongs to Ghost.
What an ending. Oh my God, Ghost. Not an easy win by any means. I can't believe that once it got to OT, Renegades coming back 6-1 in rounds to bring it to 15-15, lose in OT. I'm shocked.
I mean, just what a sweep, right? It's been such a long time since we saw Ghost on the CT side. We didn't quite know what we were going to get from them. Again, it fell flat in the first half once it was Renegades to take control, but they slipped up and they lost that control outside of regulation. Still, these teams showing while they're at the top of this league, and they'll be doing the exact same thing as we move on to the second map, which will be Cash. Mohan, I can't wait. Folks at home, don't go too far.